that there's a need out there for the kind of thing that you are doing. Talk to me a little bit about that, because we look around in the Truck Series and in the Xfinity Series, and man, I got to tell you, I see more talented young kids just waiting to kick the door in than I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, the future is bright, I think, for NASCAR racing. There's so many really talented kids, and I think where we come in is I think there's a lot of talented kids that are not at this level yet, you know, that are down in the super late model level that probably need to go to the next step. And I think we can be that next step, and I really think we can do a really good job of developing you know, the premium talent, as we say, the one percenters. We really want to get the best guys ready, and hopefully they end up in Cup in, you know, 3 to 5 years once they come to us. So I just feel like with the experience that I've got in this process, I felt like I kind of helped develop the process 25 years ago, and I feel like we can do a really good job at it.
I don't know if it's kosher to name drop a little bit here, but if you will and if you can, just, you know, toss out some of the names of some of the young talents that you've helped along the way over the last quarter century.
Well, it goes back all the way, Dave, like, you know, when my dad owned the 28 car, and it all kind of really started for me with Davey Allison. And how that came about was we got put in a position where Cale Yarborough had left the team, and we were in a position that, well, the drivers that we wanted, we couldn't get, and, you know, the drivers that we could get, we kind of didn't want, and so it you know what I mean? It kind of,
I do.
It worked out, yeah, it worked out that way. So I kind of, you know, pushed my dad along with a few other people that we need to make a star. We need to take a guy and make a star. The word driver development was never even really used at that point. If anybody was doing the development part, it would have been Bobby Allison. As far as Davey goes, we just kind of picked him up at the right time as he was kind of, you know, cresting into where we thought he could be with all the experience that he had and all the racing that he had done. And I think we just caught him at the right time and caught the team at the right time. So I think that it all started with that. And then as the 90s rolled along, I think what happened was I think Ford Motor Company kind of saw the value in what we did with Davey, and I think that allowed Jeff Gordon to be the next one to come. Ford Motor Company kind of brought Jeff Gordon to Bill Davis, and then the whole thing kind of started at that point. And then a couple of years later, I went out and kind of recruited Tony Stewart, and we tried to put a program together for him, kind of got him going, and then we ended up selling him to Gibbs at that time in the 90s. And then, you know, from that point on, I've just worked with a lot of young guys that, you know, either spotted for them or helped them in various different ways. You know, guys, I worked really closely with Jimmy Johnson when he was at Herzog Motorsports in 2000 and 2001. And that was, I feel like I really helped Jimmy make the transition from short track racing into NASCAR racing. And he even still kind of gives me a little bit of credit for that today. Of how much that helped him. So, you know, guys like that I've worked with in recent times. I spotted and helped Kyle Larson a little bit, and then, you know, we've done a lot of development with the Turner Scott, now the H Scott K&N team. Helped with a lot of young guys there. Helped Rico Abreu last year a little bit. So I know this process pretty well, and I feel like we can do a really good job at it, and I certainly have a passion for it, Dave. I mean, it's really kind of my sweet spot, and I just love watching these kids that have this talent, you know, turn into quality race car drivers, and you know, hopefully they all end up in Cup, or at least all you can hope is that they have a shot at it, and that's really kind of what I hope.
It's driving talent is a must, but you also got to have a basket full of 20s to go along with it. How have you got that end of the business handled? I know you've got a plan. You always do.
You know, that part is really the hard part about it. It's kind of a balancing act that you have to play. And there's no question that the money makes the wheels turn. But I think what happens is, as you put a quality program together, and people see how serious you are about the development process, I think that will attract the quality drivers who have, whether it be personal, family, personal sponsors, whatever it may be. I think you can kind of put the pieces together and make the program work. There's no one answer to that, David, because it's really hard. Everybody has a different story, different background, and how the thing is funded. But you know what? We're committed to putting quality race car drivers in quality cars and watching them develop. And you know, we'll do whatever we got to do to make that happen.
More announcements to come in the next week or so, I understand.
Yeah, we'll have 2 more driver announcements within the next few days.
Wow, and all of these, will most of these be NASCAR K&N series and ARCA deals, or might there be a national series effort here somewhere?
Yeah, we'll run a select number of truck races as well. So we're gonna kind of focus on K&N, ARCA, and the truck series. We feel like that's the best place for development to give these guys the foundation that they need to make that step and make it. You know, the thing is with these younger guys, you know, when you take that step or you get that opportunity from a particular team, however it may be, you know, you want to be ready. You know, you want to feel like you went through the right process and the right channel and everything. So when you do get that opportunity for an Xfinity deal with, say, Joe Gibbs or Richard Childress or whomever, that, you know what, you can make the most of it and you're ready to do it. You're ready. When you go there, you're ready to fire. And we want to make sure that the guys that go through our program, they're ready to do that.
You know, it's so interesting because I grew up on what is now the K&N Pro Series East. 3 or 4 incarnations and 3 or 4 names ago. Way up the ladder, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and I will say this: I really like the package that NASCAR's come up with the engine package and now the flange fit body. I think it makes it really equal. A lot of people can play and feel like they have a really good chance to play and be competitive, and ARCA has done the same thing as well. So I feel like for these feeder series and for these younger drivers, you know, you don't have that huge gap between the front cars and the cars that may be, you know, in the middle. I feel like on any given day, if those guys get their chassis right and their drivers are right, and, you know, everything's together, they have an opportunity to win or at least get a top 5. Where maybe in the past, you know, if you didn't have the right motor package, you didn't have the right body, you know, there were so many factors to create the opportunity for a good finish that you couldn't put it together unless you had the right money. And now you have to have the right money, but you still have the opportunity to go buy those parts and pieces. So I think with the ARCA series and the K&N series, I think they've done a really good job at that. And plus the cars look really good too. With you know, they look like cup cars. So I really applaud them on what they've done.
Well, it sounds like you got your plan together. It doesn't surprise me a bit. Look forward to hearing more from you and from this new team in the next week or so as we get set to head on to Speed Weeks 2016 at Daytona.
Well, thanks, Dave. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to be on your show anytime.
Anytime you got something to talk about, we're happy to be here for you. Thanks, Lauren. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Lauren Ranier Racing with MDM. New driver development effort. Kyle Benjamin announced today. A couple more to come in the next 7 to 10 days as we head off to Daytona.
Super Bowl 50 is